In this video, we're going to talk about the Pathfinder palette. So the Pathfinder palette should be over here in your palettes. If it's not, go up to Window and then go down to Pathfinder and then click it. It should get a check mark next to it. Mine already has a check mark, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. And then let's just create a few. Actually, you can just create 2 shapes on your paper, on your artboard. If you don't have that, go ahead and create that now. I have another one, but I'm just going to work with these 2. In fact, let me give that an outline or a stroke color. Thicker one so we can see it. Okay. So the Pathfinder allows you to manipulate shapes in a more complicated way than we've used before. So for example, a lot of times you'll just need a star or a circle or a square. And our shapes tool is just fine for that. But when you got to get more complicated, like if you want, say, a shape with a circle like cut out of it, well, then we need our Pathfinder menu. So let's go ahead and select both. We can do that either by doing this, just getting your selector tool and dragging over them, or you can select one, then hold down Shift and select another. You can select as many tools or shapes as you want like that by holding the Shift button. Notice that a little like a box appears around every shape that you selected. So in this case, these 2. And let's go ahead and get started by clicking the first one on the Pathfinder palette, which is called Unite. And voila, it united the 2. So these are just one shape now. Notice that they took on the properties of the shape that was in front. So the circle, the green circle with a blue stroke. You know what? Let me change the stroke for this box. Okay. So anyway, we'll take Unite and notice that they're both going to have a blue stroke and a green fill, right? Well, let's move this in front. And now let's do the same thing. Now they're both yellow with a red fill. They'll take on the properties of whatever's in front, or like on top, in terms of layers. You'll notice the layers have merged into one, like sublayer has merged into one sublayer instead of 2. I'm going to hit undo. Actually, I want this to be in front. All right. Now, let's try minus front. This one's obvious by the name what it does. Forgot to select both. I'm going to say minus front, and boom, it just uses the top shape, sort of like a cookie cutter, and it cuts it out of the bottom shape. Let's try intersect. Take a guess at what this might do. If you guess this, you're exactly right. It cuts out everything, or gets rid of everything except for the place where they intersect, right? And then the next one, exclude, does exact opposite, is it gets rid of the area that intersects, like so. All right, and those are the simpler ones. Now we're going to get into ones that are a little more complicated. So let's try divide. All right, so it doesn't look like much has changed, right? But let's use our selector. I'm going to use the direct selection tool. I find it's a little less finicky sometimes. And you can pull the whole shape apart, and it creates all these different parts to it. We hit undo a few times, and there we go. All right. Let's try trim. Now, trim did sort of the same thing as that cookie cutter tool we had a minute ago, except it keeps that part. So we can actually still use this, right? So we don't have to like create another circle if we want to cookie cut a few pieces somewhere, right? Let's see here, we have merge. So let's merge.